Well, good afternoon and welcome to Carpo's Complaints. Not something I usually do. I really try to keep things positive, but I still think that complaining about society's problems is positive because it reinforces our understanding of what we find important as individuals, therefore as a society, and it can move forward. I try to stay out of the current events arena. I'm not a big fan of pop culture. I'm not a big fan of controversies. I definitely don't like gossip. But a story I came across, I thought I had to reiterate and really delve into because I think it kind of defined where we are at as a society and how we're changing as a society. And this was the issue of Patton Oswalt the other day, throwing Dave Chappelle under the bus. And I'm sure many of you have already heard the story. I'll just try to quote it in 15, 20 seconds here. Patton Oswalt, who is a comedian, I'm not a fan. I don't really know a lot of his work. I've seen him do some stand-up, but I don't personally find him that funny, but I respect him as a comedian. He's been in the business a long time. He went to do a show on New Year's Eve, and Dave Chappelle texted, and it turned out they were doing a show right next to each other. So Dave Chappelle asked if Patton wanted to come open up for his show, and they've been friends for 34 years apparently. So he said, hell yeah. He went and he did the show, and then he took a picture with him and Dave, and he posted it and talked about, left a comment about him and his friend. Now, he was naturally instantly attacked by the, I guess, what people like to call the woke mob, but really just a bunch of angry trolls on Twitter and Instagram who want to point the finger at him because he was spending time with somebody they don't like. Now, here's where it gets interesting because comedians deal with this kind of shit all the time. But Patton, instead of defending somebody that he claims he's been friends with for 34 years and someone he says he looks up to and that he always laughs at and is one of the greatest comedians, he bows to the Twitter mobs and he goes on and throws him under the bus, sends a long apology, not just an apology, but a picture of him literally sitting with pen to paper in front of a mirror with his hand on his chin as if he's in some deep thought, thinking about all the mistakes he's made. And it's just this big, long bullshit, I was going to say teary apology, but it's completely bullshit to the trans community because many of people in the trans community assume that just like Joe Rogan as well, but Dave Chappelle, that they're transphobes. I'm not going to go into what Dave has said. I feel like he has made it very clear that he supports everyone's rights equally, and that just because he believes in the idea of a man and a woman are real things, he's a hater. And it's interesting because so many people have seen through this kind of Twitter mob bullshit, and they say, if you don't like it, tough shit. Like, to me, okay, I've got some friends that I've known for 30 years. I can't imagine if I posted a picture with one of my friends who is more or less a conservative, right? We were just talking earlier, and then somebody says, oh, how dare you hang out with that guy because he likes Trump or he feels this way. And for me to go out and say, oh, I apologize for spending time with my friend that I've known for 30 years, I will apologize and throw him under the bus to appeal to a tiny mob of strangers on the internet. It is so sad. It is so pathetic. It is so cowardly. And it's so dishonest. The loudest voices are often the ones that have the least to say. The ones who want to go rant and scream at other people for what they've said. I've been personally attacked for bringing up even the trans community, bringing it up in videos twice. Okay? I brought up race once and somebody threw a big fit. I even called Native Americans Indians, and I mentioned in the video that I had been reading from a bunch of different chiefs from different tribes how they said we prefer to be called Indians. But not all Indians want to be called Indians. Some want to be called Native Americans. We know they're not from India. They know they're not from India. But it's always those who are on the outside of the issue that have the biggest complaints. The social justice warriors, if you will. Which, years ago, I thought we needed those people. I thought it was a great thing. I figured that there was a certain amount of novelty and benefit in having people stand up for others' rights. And I still believe that's true. But only when those people's rights are actually being infringed upon. When you start attacking people because they say something that you might not agree with, that's one thing. When you start attacking somebody because they take a picture with a good friend of theirs that their friend has different opinions, and then that friend's willing to throw him under the bus to apologize, you know, stand up for yourself. Pull your pants up and earn some respect. You know, because all that's going to do is just tank his career. Because very few people are going to see that as some upstanding apology. The ones that do are often, like I say, the Twitter trolls. The big loud ones, the ones who have nothing better to do. And everybody wants to be liked. Let's make this clear. We all want to be liked by people. It sucks when you say something and a lot of people call you out on it and don't like it. There have been some times where I've said some shit in videos that maybe I shouldn't have said, or maybe got misinterpreted, or maybe I just said something I truly believe that others didn't agree with, and they got angry at me about it, and I'd say, well, that's just how it is, that's how I feel. But the issue is, we want to be liked, but by who? And he's chosen to be liked by a bunch of strangers over being liked by those he considers his friends. And that, my friends, is how cancel culture, if you want to call it that, comes to an end. We're coming out on the tail end of this. The idea that you can, just post something on Twitter and say, oh, let's boycott this company because they don't hire a certain amount of these types of people, or let's boycott this person because he likes this guy or said this, and the misinterpretations. We've all heard too many stories over the years of somebody saying something that got twisted. As I said to my friend earlier, how many times have you texted somebody you love or someone you know, a friend, a family member, and had that text completely misinterpreted from somebody that knows you? Now imagine how many times that's happened online. Even just speaking something. It's important that we clarify our points, we clarify what we mean, but we don't let people push us around. Got to stand by what you feel, stand by how you feel, and don't let the Twitter mob push you around. Fuck those people. They've got nothing better to do. Let them wallow in their pity. It's the same as the Facebook mobs, you know. I've known people like that they just want to go on to find the most controversial thing to complain about and point the finger at others. Those are miserable people. You don't want to spend your time around them. You don't want to spend your life entertaining people like that. So just do what you do. And yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So we all want to be liked. It's just a matter of whose opinion really fucking matters. Peace out.